This is tea leaf. No, not tea like the kind you drink, but tea, T-I. In Hawaii, tea is a sacred plant. When you need a blessing, like for a new house or a grand opening or just in general, our kahu will use tea leaf to sprinkle the holy water. It is also used for cooking. Local Chinese use it to wrap yikjai and to line the bowl for ninko. But the native Hawaiians, the Kanaka Maoli, will use it to make Lau Lau. We start by washing the tea leaf. And then cutting the rib out of the leaf. But keep that rib, we'll need it later. The tea leaf is used to wrap and enhance the flavor of food, but it's not edible itself. The edible part of the Lau Lau comes from the leaf of the taro plant, or kalo in Hawaiian. Kalo is the single most important plant to Hawaiians. The kalo root is used to make poi, the staple of the Hawaiian diet. Just as Asians eat rice as the main part of every meal, Hawaiians ate poi. But the kalo leaf, also known as luau leaf, is used to make lau lau. Hawaiians would dig an underground oven called an imu and bury a whole pig in it with red-hot lava rocks. That's what we call kalua pig. But they would also throw lau lau in the imu to cook with the pig, so the pig flavor would permeate the delicate leaves. The main filling and flavor for lau lau is pork belly. The only seasoning you really need is some good Hawaiian salt. Hawaiians would make salt by taking the water of the ocean around us and drying it on the lava rocks so that it has that wonderful oceany brininess. Since we're not going to be digging an imu and burying the lau lau, we're going to cheat and use some liquid smoke to impart some smoky flavor. Besides the pork, good lau lau has a bit of Okinawan sweet potato. If you've never seen it, Okinawan sweet potato has a beautiful purple color, and it's a bit firmer than Filipino ube. Finally, we're going to use a bit of salted dried butterfish, or cod, to impart some more island flavor. When the luau leaf, the pork, and the fish all cook together, they harmonize to create the flavor of the Aina, the land, the flavor of the Pacific, and the flavor of Hawaii. Wrap our precious little bundle in the tea leaf. And then use the rib of the leaf that we saved earlier to tie it together. I first made my own lau lau when I went away to grad school. I was homesick, and I was trying to make friends with my classmates, so I invited them all to a big Hawaiian luau, where I made kalua pig, lau lau, lomi salmon, and poi. I actually asked my parents to ship me some luau leaf since I couldn't get it on the mainland. It was a hit and a great way to make friends. I guess even way back then, I loved sharing the culture and flavors of my island home, like I'm doing now. Kalo has a crystalline structure in its cells that will actually irritate your throat if you don't cook it properly. So we're going to steam our lau lau for a good 4 hours to break down that structure into a soft, fragrant vegetable. Be sure to keep adding water to your steamer or it will definitely dry out and your lau lau will burn. In addition to the lau lau, I want to make some lomi salmon. But the lomi salmon that you get in the store has such tiny bits of salmon. So I'd rather get my own fillet of salmon and make it my own way. Lomi lomi means to massage in Hawaiian, so you can't be afraid to wash your hands and really massage the salmon flesh to make this. The first thing we need to do is feel our way across the fillet for any bones in the fish. Depending on where you buy the fish from, they may or may not have pulled the bones out for you, but even if they did, they're likely to have missed some. Normally for lomi salmon, you would cut 1/4 inch cubes. I guess it's a way to stretch out the salmon. But I thought, why don't we make lomi salmon the way that we make poke? Poke has luscious, big 1-inch cubes. Store-bought lomi salmon is more like a salsa, a garnish. Why don't we make an actual side or main like poke? So I'm actually making poke with lomi salmon ingredients. To our salmon, we're going to add some Maui onion. I always talk about the terroir of Maui's volcanic soil that imparts its flavor to Maui onions. But this is one instance where you definitely want to use them. Because you're eating them raw, you want an onion that is sweet and mild. You don't want anything too sharp. Cutting Maui onions won't even make you cry. We'll throw in a couple of tomatoes too. We're not making salsa here, so we want firm tomatoes, not soft runny ones. Besides the terroir of Maui, I'm going to add the terroir of my own backyard with my own green onion. I feel very connected to my home, the small piece of aina my popo and gongong bought and worked and lived on. I can feel their love in every plant that I grow in their soil. I've often wondered why lomi salmon is even a thing in Hawaii, because salmon isn't one of our native fishes. Why don't we eat lomi onaga or lomi moi? Now we bring back our Hawaiian salt. Really the only seasoning you need. But in this case, the salt will actually lightly cure the salmon, depending on how long you leave it for. It's called lomi salmon, so now we gotta lomi it. By the way, if you're nervous about eating raw fish, I did my research. There isn't actually anything such as sushi grade. That's purely a marketing term. According to the US FDA, there are 2 types of fish that have consistently negligible levels of parasites. That's ahi tuna and farm-raised salmon. If you're serving it right away, you gotta serve it on ice. Besides being cold, it forces the salmon to contract and pull in all of the other flavors. But since our lau lau will take hours to steam, I'm just gonna stick it in the fridge. Alright, here we go! As a kid, I was always lazy to open the lau lau, and I didn't want to get my hands messy. But I've come to realize opening the lau lau is like unwrapping a Christmas present. It's a precious little treasure inside. And that's it. Lau Lau and my lomi salmon poke. If you enjoy spinach, you would love the kalo leaf. It's got a similar texture, and it's soaked in all the savory, salty, smoky flavor of the pork, as well as the bright, oceany flavor of the fish, and the slight sweetness of the Okinawan sweet potato. It's the truest taste of the islands of Hawaii in one bite. I really hate going to poke shops on the mainland. They never do it right. They've never been here and felt the mana of our aina or our wai, our land and our ocean. To me, it just feels like cultural appropriation. In this poke, you can taste it. The salt from our waters, the onions grown in our soil. This is what poke tastes like. This is what Hawaii tastes like. Until next time, joy kim and a hui ho.